Cool. Thank you. Hello, team. I'm Alex Fracaso, Senior Product Designer for Code Review. And what I want to showcase today, it's the results we got from integrating AI into the merge request. So for a quick recap and context around all the iterations we did in the product, when we first, let me move this around. When we first started this work, we prototype and ship experiments as fast as possible to access feasibility and potential value from the AI outputs. So different from what we do today, where we do research and release a feature straight into GA, we did a different approach where we create prototypes and release as experiments and then mature to beta and then to GA based on feedback. And how this feature works here. This is the first version we released. It is based on a quick action on the comments block. So we got AI to read the merge request diff changes and create a digestible summary of what that change was. We then collect feedback and start to analyze it to find ways to improve the feature. And as we start to learn more with all the feedback, we got insights to make the summary more contextually relevant to users, since users reach the comment box when they already learn what that merge request is about. And at first, we add the summaries into the to-do and emails. And during this step, we continue collecting feedback from users. And we also noticed there was expectations to seeing that continuation of the summary when they land into the merge request from the to-dos and emails. Here it is. So having that similar continuation on the experience from the to-do and emails to the merge request page. And the biggest surprise from this project was that as soon as we add this AI-generated summary into the merge request page, we start to read some very interesting feedback that we didn't have before in our feedback issue. So this is one example. At first, we thought that we could just fix the AI quality output by improving the prompts. And we made some improvements, but still we won't always get a correct summary. And after collecting more similar feedback, we run a culture survey with more users, and we verify similar problems around a lack of user trust with the AI-generated summary, and followed by a lack of user control expectations on the UI. So we got duplication of content, potentially conflicting information, no control over experience from the author. And even when the AI gets it correct, there's also the human description and the AI summary are the same. And so that in turn increased mental effort with no extra value. So I collect all those results into a research issue. And I also propose some changes on the workflow that I want to show you one use case example. Oh, yeah, there you go. Cool. Whoop. Let me go back here. So when the author completes the code in the IDE and push it to the GitLab, they create a merge request. In the merge request creation form, we could use that same AI summary to assist the author in writing a better description. So here on this example, the author could add it if they want the summary. And there are also potential opportunities for controls we could add in the UI to regenerate, remove details, add more details, and even connect with GitLab Duo. The results is that we have like a clean merge request page with less distractions for reviewers, correct description, and better control for merge request alters. So next steps, we are turning off summaries on the to-do and email. We are also removing the auto-generated summary from the merge request page, and we are implementing the designs on the merge request creation page, and we're also continuing monitoring how the AI is performance. And future, what we're planning is to integrate the AI even further in the workflow. And yeah, that's it. Any questions?
Mine's not a question, it's more of a FYI. I noticed that in the time that we were sprinting with AI features, teams often needed to ship the AI feature to learn the capabilities of what the AI could do. And I just see this as a recurring challenge that teams have. And this is something that I've been chatting with my PM about, is like, how can we, in a very low fidelity way, allow teams to test the output of the AI before they go through the whole build process? Because I feel like, Alex, if you had known at the beginning, like in this case, the AI is 50% accurate or something like that, you could take that as a design constraint, and it probably would have, like, you probably could have skipped a lot of those iterations and maybe moved closer to where you ended up. So it's more of just an FYI. It's like, you weren't the only team to struggle with that. And I think it's a problem that we need to solve at GitLab, because I think knowing the output of the AI will either say the idea can be successful or not, or at least it can be a design constraint.
Yeah, I remember that when we work on this, we were very confident that we could get the summary correct. I remember we were talking about it, that we could improve the prompt, and it will get, eventually we'll get it in to 100% correctness. But to be honest, I think it's all the context around it. I don't think that the AI will never be able to catch up to a contextual idea of that we humans have. I mean, maybe, but not in the short term.
Yeah, and it's all design constraints. And my next thing, sorry, I should have written this as you were talking, but I was just thinking, like, now that you know that you want to improve the author experience for the one who's writing the MR, it could be interesting to dig into the problems that those people specifically face. I'll give an example. At GitLab, the engineers have a very specific format that they need to follow. Like, why is this change being made before and after? And it could be interesting to learn about the specific challenges, like, are people writing MR descriptions that don't have enough information? Are they, you know, like, if you understand that, you might be able to optimize it. Because I was thinking about a different workflow, which is like, rather than they push the MR up and they have this text waiting for them, maybe it should be more like they can say, I want an MR body that hits on these 3 points, generate it for me, or something like that, if they have specific requirements of their organization. So it just could be interesting to dig into
Nice.
requirements.
100%. Yeah. I think we can improve it even further with controls in the UI. Yeah.
Or
I think for
even
the
having that as a standard prompt, like configured by the organization. This is what our engineers need in their merge request descriptions and summaries and stuff like that. It's like, we want this every time so that they don't have to write it out.
Nice. Good idea, Marcel. Cool.
So my one question is just like, have you thought about commit flows or MR creations from the CLI? So if I commit using the CLI, I could say like auto generate or something as a command, and then I could like go to my MR. Because does that button show up after the MR has been created, or does it just show up at the time of creation during the UI?
For the first experiment, that button will be showing up every time. So
Okay.
every time you reach the merge request creation page, the button will be there.
Okay.
In the future, we want to integrate it more. So we can input that first generate the summary generating inside the description form already, and then moving the buttons to the form like what we currently have in the guidelines. That is some of those ideas that I explore.
Hmm. Cool. Cool. Any other questions?